If you're like me, you're a leader who likes to learn and grow, really to ramp up your leadership skills, right? But how do you know which books to choose with thousands in the market? Hi, I'm Heather Younger, and I am the author of The Art of Active Listening. And if you want to buy my book, you can just go to the link in the description below and do so. In this video, I'm sharing my top 7 favorite leadership books from people I know personally, have worked with, or studied and implemented in my own work, and found them to be useful and inspiring. Let's hop right in. The first book on my list is one of the very first leadership books I ever read, and it's called Developing the Leader Within. It's by John Maxwell. And what I loved about it so much is it's talking about how we have to first work on ourselves before we can try to lead others. We have to lead us first before we can lead other people and before they'll even be wanting to follow us. Things like making sure that we're exercising good self-care, making sure that we are in control of our emotional intelligence. These are all things that you can find in this book. The second book on my list is Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. I read this book and someone introduced it to me, and it's like 40 pages, and it's a parable about people being in a maze. Actually, it's mice being in a maze. But it's a very interesting read because it helps you think about change and how flexible you can be and how inflexible you can be as it relates to change. And when we think about a leader, we have to be adapting inside of these changing circumstances. Very fast things are happening to us, and we have to know how to respond. This Who Moved My Cheese book is a great short read. My third book for leaders is a book called Exactly What to Say. Another small book, but it carries a big punch. It has special words that you say in order to basically show your leadership, to demonstrate more influence, to make sure that you can persuade people who are in your presence. It is a very little book, but boy, it's one of those things that you'll keep with you in your backpack, in your briefcase, by your bedside, to be thinking about what are the right things to say in order to bring people along with you inside your circle. My fourth pick is a book called Brave Leadership by Kimberly Davis. She is actually one of my closest friends. I absolutely love her. This book is full of heart, but it's talking about how we as leaders need to be brave, how we demonstrate bravery. Part of it is like grace and courage on our own, and how we can show up as our best self, and then how then we demonstrate that and show that to the people outside, and how it makes people want to follow us. This brave leadership concept, I love it so much. You have to go read it. My fifth choice for books is Your Stories Don't Define You, How You Tell Them Will by Sarah Elkins. You are going to love this book. It has a workbook element in it, but it talks about the types of stories that we tell ourselves in our minds and how sometimes those stories stop us, and sometimes those stories limit us, and sometimes those stories keep us in a circle that don't allow us to get out. But it's how we tell the stories that make all the difference. And I think as leaders, we have to learn which stories to tell. And this book is a perfect guide to help us get there. Recently, the number 6 book just came onto my radar because of a friend of mine who just published the book, Discover Your Fair Advantage. And it's all about uncovering your unique selling proposition, your unique perspective as a person. How do you define yourself, or how do you define your business? What are the things that make you unique? And as we think about being inside an organization as a leader, we have to figure out how we can use certain unique selling points and persuasive points, and what's our strength in order to get people to do certain things, for the leadership team to approve a certain new product or a new service, something like that, right? We need to be able to know what defines us, how we're unique, and how that shows up. So I'm excited for you to pick up this book. It's one of the newer books out of the bunch. And the final book on the list is called The Art of Caring Leadership by guess who? Me, Heather Younger. And this book will really talk about compassionate leadership. Caring leadership is defined by 9 behaviors inside this book. And so if you've ever wondered what care really looks like, or you thought care was like super squishy and nebulous, you should go pick up this book, because it'll help you understand as a leader how you can really demonstrate more compassion, empathy, how you can really show up with more emotional intelligence so that your people feel like you care about them and the experience is more positive and they want to stay with you. Now, I'm going to give you a bonus book, and here it is. I just said The Art of Active Listening is my book. And in this book, it gives you a specific framework on how it is you need to learn to listen well. Listen differently than you did before, so that your people know that you hear them and that you can get to the truth of the matter instead of guessing and assuming things. So those are my 7+ books for you. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you too can be a leader who leads by example and build a winning culture in the meantime. Be well.